We have a mystery guest today. We don't know who this guest is. Matter of fact, Engineer Tim is in the back now, in the back studio, kind of setting up all the equipment. The guest is going to be taken back there, voice disguised, and we will ask questions until we figure out who the guest is. Then they'll come in and sit down for an interview.
And the only real clue we've gotten is from Ted, and I'll say it again. When Ted ran this by Rita, our program director, he said that Rita got a chill. Now, what guest would give Rita the chill?
Don't know.
Now, she either got a chill because she was so impressed by this guy or girl, or that the fact that she knew that we would be so excited about this mystery guest.
Yeah.
So
the mystery guest is, we're about, an hour and a half away.
Tell you what, Frankie. Now, Frankie found out this morning. I guess Ted told him.
Yep.
Give us a first clue on You Can't Win kind of clue. You know, where it's very vague, but yet it's still connected. Hey, Ted, come on, you can do this.
No, I don't think I can.
Oh, you can.
No, I swear to Ted I couldn't do that.
When we give our first clue for a question that hasn't been answered for months, it's usually very vague, but it is connected somehow. Give us one of them. It'll be fun.
What do you think, Ted?
See how much fun you're having?
My reaction, I'll tell you this, my reaction was, it wasn't a chill, it was a, that was my reaction. I'd say it.
Do that again.
It was like a, yeah.
Well,
does it make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a clue.
Can't do it.
Vague clue.
Can't.
Vague.
I want to.
Vague clue.
I actually got a vague clue, but I can't do it.
let's speak the language that Frankie understands.
Cash. Oh.
Frankie?
Benedid. Malone. Hey.
Fochi Kwamaso.
That's only a 10. You got to go higher than that.
Only?
Yeah.
This is a $10 bill.
A couple C notes.
The hell wake up. Hello?
How about it, that $10, that he's offering, not me, but that $10 for a clue, a vague clue. $10. Come on, it'll be fun.
Money talks.
It's the whole thing about a mystery guest. You get to kind of look forward and guess.
20 maybe? I said maybe 20. 20?
We're Priva knows.
How does Priva know, Ted?
No less than she's goofing on you. No less than 500, Frank.
500? You going to split it with me, or is that for me?
500.
Ted has even gone. He's taped up the window. The window is covered so that when the mystery guest arrives and is being escorted back to the back room, we won't be able to see. However, Ted, Brian can look right through that window right there.
I have more newspaper ready.
You can just pull the blinds.
You can pull those blinds. All right. Well, it's kind of fun. This is almost kind of like Christmas morning. There's a gift up under there. Been under there for a while. Don't know what it is. It's kind of fun.
Is he an actor?
I can't tell you. What's that, Priv?
Don't answer.
Oh, she knows. I want to tell you, but I can't.
Okay, once again, when you heard, it didn't give you a chill.
It wasn't a chill. Honestly, it was kind of like a, That's what I got out of it.
Very consistently. That's pretty incredible.
That's what was there. It's truth.
Well, that actually answers a lot right there.
Oh, yeah. We just about got it.
That answers quite a bit. It does say a lot. Because
have we ever met him? You can answer that.
Maybe.
Okay, it's a him. Did you see what I did there?
I sure did.
Yeah, it's for sure.
Yeah, and maybe not, because it might be a woman.
No, too late.
You suck at this.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm an Italian. I'm throwing you all sorts of curveballs.
No, I don't. Listen to it. No, I don't. All right. Well, whoever it is, this mystery guest, be it a him, be it a her, they're going to be in here in about an hour and 15 minutes, and we'll begin the process of deciphering who it is, and it won't take us long.
Of course, we could walk out to the guard shack out there in the lobby and read the welcome board. We could try that.
Yeah, we could. But that would spoil the fun.
Yeah, I guess.
And we will tell you that this won't take long. We are trained, seasoned professionals. Very little gets by us.
Wait a minute, Frankie. Are you disagreeing with that?
Might be a while.
No. No, it won't.
Okay.
Will not. We will knock it down in, all we'll need is 10 questions or less. We will know who the mystery guest is because we are trained, seasoned, broadcast, talk show.
You're saying 10
professionals.
questions?
10 questions.
All right.
At least 10 questions. That's all we'll need.
10 questions or less is what you're saying.
Correct. Absolutely.
I don't see that happening.
Well, we're on it.
See that happen.
We're on it.
No, I have all the respect for us and everything. I just know that we're not going to get in 10 questions.
Oh, of course we are. See, our brains, we have it all kind of set up kind of like a chart. And we'll ask one question, And the answer to that question will get rid of a whole nother batch of questions that we might have needed to answer. Process of elimination. That's the way it works. Trained, seasoned pros. Won't take us long. 10 questions or less.
I think it's going to take more than 10 questions. In fact, I might go as far as to say we'll be here till 12:30 still guessing. So we might have to give it up.
You need to go with the trained, seasoned pro thing.
Well, I'm trained seasoned pro. Don't get me wrong,
But
I don't see us. Getting. You said less than 10 questions, and that's impossible.
10 questions or less, we're on it. We got it.
Maybe. But the voice is going to be disguised through this this machine. This sort of manipulates the voice, makes it deeper or higher, whichever way Engineer Tim wants to go.
There'll be no way of knowing if it's male or female by the voice. So we won't be given that little clue, that hint. Voice is taken away. But by the answers that we're given, we'll know. We got it.
All right. You say less than 10, I say more than 10. I say less than 30. We'll get it in less than 30.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. 10 or less.
Tracy's professional and all, but I'm saying.
10 or less.
It's pretty tough. I remember past mystery guests. It took us forever.
Some, yeah, it's true. But this one, I'm saying this because I think I already know who it is.
You think it's Andy?
I do.
You think it's Andy Griffith?
Hell, I went and dug out my damn magazine. It better be him.
I would love it to be Andy.
Because if it's Tina Louise, she's signing the magazine.
I would love it to be Andy, but I don't get the same feeling that it's Andy.
Well, there is that. I still.
And I hope to God it's not Tina Louise.
So do I. If it's Tina Louise, don't come. All right, let's do commercial business. We'll return to you momentarily. This is the Mark and Brian radio program. 95.5 KLOS.
All right, we have guesses on who our mystery guest is today, and maybe some listeners can help us out on line 7. Good morning, Steve.
Hey.
Who do you think it is?
It's Mark. It's got to be Mark McGuire.
You like Mark McGuire?
Now, you know he's been on the
like Mark McGuire.
You know he's been on the show before.
Oh, he has. I know
yeah.
you guys have talked to him.
Yep, that's.
I thought you just talked to him on the phone.
Nope.
The first time we ever spoke with him, he was on the show.
Oh.
He physically came in on the show, and then, of course, we kind of bonded, and he, being the great guy that he is, calls us on a regular basis. It still could be Mark McGuire.
But you bring up a good thing. I never thought of a famous athlete. Never thought of that.
Joe Namath.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? I don't know. Do we have any vodka put anywhere? I don't see any vodka out. I don't think it's Joe.
Oh, man. Joe Namath, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Mark McGuire would be great.
It'd be great to see him again. He's always a pleasant surprise.
And the thing about that interview when Mark was here, when he left, we've talked about it on the air, he called the hotline from the car to make sure that we gave him the right number.
You want to make sure you didn't give me a bum
that
number.
was so funny.
All right, let's try Chris on line 10. This is not bad. Chris?
Yeah,
Who do you think?
I think it's Ben Affleck.
And if it is,
He's without toupee.
he doesn't wear a toupee. I saw another movie with him recently, and I looked good and hard. It ain't a toupee.
He's had help.
I'll bet you any amount of money.
No.
Don't you already have a bet going with him?
Probably.
Yeah, we do.
And more.
$20 each, or it was $100.
That was a lot of money.
I think it was
Make it-
$100 each.
Make it more.
Ben's had help. I guarantee he's had help up top.
If you're just joining us on this has been going on for like 6 months. Frankie said he saw Ben Affleck in the building one afternoon in the bathroom. He said definitely he had hair plugs or something going
Frankie's
on.
drugged.
Nope.
And we disagreed with him. We don't think he wears a hairpiece. We don't think he has
Guaranteed.
Getting a transplant. But Frankie, who has a good eye for this, he claims, says that he definitely is. Some sort of thing going on up there.
That should
Definitely.
be one of your questions.
It certainly will be. If it's Ben Affleck, that'll be that. And
Hey, Ben, is that your hair?
we'll just tug on it.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
See ya. And Wade on 13. Wade,
Hooty hoo, Mark and Brian.
who you think it is?
Happy belated birthday, first of all, but I know who it is without a doubt.
It's
You guys have been talking about it for the last couple weeks. I bet they went to that website. It's Gary Coleman.
Now, which wouldn't be actually a bad guess, but got to tell you, Gary's been on the show a number of times as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got to be a better listener then.
That's all right. But, well, thanks for listening today.
Well,
I've got it narrowed down to 2. Now, you think it's Andy. I got it narrowed down to 2.
Who you like?
For me personally. I either think it's Charlize Theron
Ooh.
or the Indian from the Village People.
Either one would be great.
I'm going back and forth on this. I can't.
Either one would be great.
Trying to figure it out.
And it's obvious, it does fit into the scenario. The Indian from the Village People would give Rita a chill.
It's true.
Let's go to Dave. Hey, Dave, who you think it is?
Hey, I'm not sure.
Okay, thanks. All right. Let's go to. All right. Let's go to Regina on line 6. Oh, no, wait. Mike on line 7. Like this. Mike,
Yes, sir.
who do you think it is?
I have the ultimate mystery guest. Gotta hope it is. Britney Spears.
Somebody said something earlier. She's in New York.
Or was last
It was
night.
last night.
You really
It's
think
only
she...
a 5-hour flight to the West Coast.
Well, that'd be killer.
They sure would.
Alex,
Hello.
who do you think it is?
I have it. I have it down, and you guys are going to get, you're going to go wild.
Yeah?
I have an inside scoop,
Okay.
and I'm going to give you a clue. When I find myself in times of trouble,
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
If, in fact, it were Paul McCartney, my guess is that Rita wouldn't have allowed it to be a mystery guest. She would want to promote the fact that Paul McCartney's coming in.
Paul has been on the program over the phone before, but never here live. And I'll have to say, I don't think it's Paul on account of Frankie wouldn't have just gone, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Frankie's a major Beatles fan.
Yeah, big.
Yeah. Well, whoever it is, they're signing my magazine. I mean, I had to dig it up and bring it in.
And they're signing my headdress. We'll take a break and come back. We're trying to figure this out. Don't go anywhere. It's the Mark and Brian radio program. 95.5 KLOS. You had to tell somebody.
Yeah, she came in and was begging me, and it's like a couple minutes before we have the guest on, so, you know. Plus, she was
up on
whispering
the
in my
chair.
ear, too.
Ted put up newspaper everywhere, and I was peeking through a newspaper, and I saw the person walk by and
You saw.
needed some more help. So I went and talked to Frankie, and
Well, I have to say that I could have very easily found out who this was. And because I'm professional and very ethical, I did not.
No.
This is how easily I could have found out. I walked out back, and the limo driver's out there.
Oh.
And he said, and it immediately hit me, God, I could find out right now. He goes, I need your help. And I was thinking, well, I need yours. I said, what can I do for you? He goes, I need to go to the bathroom. Could I please use your bathroom? So I used my security card and let him in. And all that time, all that 30-second transaction there with him, I could have found out. I didn't ask him.
Well, if you're just joining us, we do have a mystery guest. We assume our mystery guest is in place in a back studio.
Mystery guest.
Yeah. The back studio is a production studio, and the microphone has been tweaked and turned, and their voice will be disguised. So even you, the home and car listener, won't know who our mystery guest is until we guess it.
So the mystery guest is back in the studio. No one knows who it is, especially you and I. So will the mystery guest please say hello?
Okay.
Oh, okay, not
They've
Pinhead.
gone for the pinhead approach.
The Pinhead approach.
On this. Mystery guest, we'll begin our questions with some more pointed, more obvious questions that'll help us hopefully alleviate some certain guesses. Were you the star of your own television show in the 60s decade?
I don't remember.
He
Don't remember.
doesn't remember. Okay, what do you do for a living?
I don't do a whole lot now. I try not to.
All right, we're going to have to turn we're having trouble understanding because the voice is cranked so low. We can't understand the words. So crank it up just a little bit there, engineers, so we can hear more.
You don't do much now. Were you an actor? Was that primarily what you did for a living?
I call it that, yes.
I call it that, yes.
You'd call it that, okay?
Mystery guest, do you live in North Carolina currently?
I don't think so. No, as a matter of fact, I guess I don't.
All right. Engineer Tim, we barely understand him. It's way, 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 way too low. So
Tweak it up just a little bit.
Yeah, lift up the pitch a little bit. He doesn't live in North Carolina. So,
Doesn't
okay,
appear
so
so.
I think you're going to have to get off the Andy thing. Just let it go.
I'm not done yet.
Mystery guest. Have you ever been on this program before?
I think so, yeah. I think I was on it.
He thinks he was. And again, Engineer Tim, if you could please raise the pitch of the voice.
Mystery guest, when you were on the show, were you live in the room or were you on the phone?
As I recall, I was
That's better.
Yeah. As you recall, what?
I was in the room, I believe.
In the room.
Okay, you were here with us. Did you have a good time?
Yes, it was wonderful. Wonderful.
Just off the top of your head, how many years ago was this that you were on the show before?
2, 3, maybe 5.
2 or 3, maybe 5.
Mr. Guest ain't helping any at all.
No, he's being very aloof.
So, what was his answer to the actor thing?
Yes.
Yes, he's an actor. He was an actor. Are you currently in a movie that's in theaters right now?
To the best of my knowledge, I think so.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Would you be more known as a television actor or a movie actor?
I both. I think both.
Mm-hmm. Are you a leading man?
Of course.
You are a leading man.
Yeah, the 10 questions are over.
Oh, by the way. Are you Vanilla Ice? No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Okay. Let's see. All right. What is the name of the movie you're in the theaters today?
I think that'd be giving it away, wouldn't it?
I'm trying to get a rhythm to the voice, even though it's modulated. Trying to recognize the rhythm.
Been on the show before, in the studio.
2, 3, 5 years ago.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
All right. Are you married?
No.
You're single. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you come in, the last time you were on our show, were you coming in to promote a movie?
I don't think so.
Were you coming in to promote a TV show?
I don't think so.
A book?
I don't think so.
You just came in?
Just came in.
And was your visit live in our studio here, the very building you're in now?
I think so.
Do you live in town?
Yes, sir.
Do you have another home somewhere else?
No, sir.
Are you between the age of 40 and 50?
Nope.
30 and 40?
Nope.
50 and 60?
Nope.
60 and 70?
Nope.
20 and 30?
Nope.
Well,
10 and 20?
Nope.
80 and 90?
Close.
70 and 80.
Right.
Oh, I was good.
All right. Okay. But you said no to those questions.
Okay, Charlie's Throne is out.
Yeah,
but we're
that-
still
that's-
working on the Indian from the Village People.
Yeah, that's done.
Okay. Frankie's laughing. All right, let me see. Let me think. When were you ever a star of a sitcom?
Not a star. Never a star, no.
Or were you ever a part of an ensemble cast of a sitcom?
Yeah.
Okay. Was this sitcom in the 80s?
Nope.
Was it in the 70s?
Nope.
60s?
Think so.
Think so. Okay, it was in 60s.
Part of an ensemble cast.
Are you Don Knotts?
Hello.
Oh, my
Don Knotts?
Oh, my God.
Did we get that right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, listen, come on in here, Don. Come on in here.
Wow.
There's this rhythm that was going on.
And I can stick up my magazine title.
That's right. You can get a sign.
Oh, look at this!
34 questions, and they're bringing him in here.
He's got a book out.
It's called Barney Fife and Other Characters I've Known. Oh, man.
See you again.
Hello. Good to see you, Don. Sit down.
Oh, my God. Oh, this is great. Don Knotts has just entered the room, and for those of you that are not aware, this man received so many Emmys for his performance of Barney Fife in the television program, The Andy Griffith Show.
The age helped me out there, and the fact that you said you'd been here before, and you were kind enough to come in. It was a little more than 5 years ago,
Yeah,
but
it was.
You were kind enough to come in here. I threw a birthday party for Mark and surprised him. I built the whole courthouse, a set on the Andy Griffith Show out in the parking lot. And you said, you better go check the jail, Mark. Somebody's in there. And you walked out and gave him a bullet.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks.
Now, I wouldn't think, Don, that... Do you mind if we call you Don?
No, of course not.
Wouldn't think that you could ever get tired of people walking up to you, because I know that you are just trapped every day with people coming up to you and talking about how many laughs they've had from your work as Barney Fife.
Well, it's always nice to hear.
That is just, and one of the great things about that show is that it plays still so well today.
Yeah, it seems to. I hear about it all the time.
Now, the book that you've got out, what is this going to, what is it exactly?
It's Barney Fife and Other Characters I've Known. It's an autobiography, mainly a career biography.
Mm-hmm. And forward by Andy Griffith.
Right.
Did you, when you first started doing the Andy Griffith Show, the very first season, how long did it take you to kind of fall into who Barney became? You've won so many awards for that character, and not to blow any smoke up your skirt, but we've said it many times on the show, it is the greatest television character ever invented.
Oh, thanks.
And you did that. How did it come about? Was it an evolution to become this Barney? Or?
Well, some of it was, but we nailed him down pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
The writers got a hold of a few things that we grabbed onto, and I'd say by the middle of the season we really had him.
You know, Mr. Knotts, I saw you once at a college. You know, this is about 10 years ago, and you were doing an evening with Don Knotts, and I didn't know what to expect, but being a huge fan, I wanted to come, and I'm sitting in the audience, and you walk out, and you do a comedy routine that I guess you had done for years, the Weatherman.
Oh, yeah.
A confused Weatherman. I had never seen it, and I had the honor of seeing you do that live. It was very, very funny. You finished off, the crowd is rolling in the aisles, then you take a chair, you scoot it up to the front of the stage, you sit down and go, now what do y'all want to know? And for about an hour, you answered any question we had.
Yeah.
Do you still do that?
Once in a while,
yeah.
I still take it. Not as much as I used to.
Now, what was your take? And we'll go, but we want to go back to a lot of Andy Griffith stuff. But you were in Pleasantville, which, first of all, you were great in it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Secondly, did you like the movie because it was so well done?
I thought it was great. It was when you read the script, you didn't know what it was going to be. I mean, it was kind of confusing because it was an unusual picture, but it fell together great.
If you haven't seen Pleasantville, you gotta do it, because the concept of it, when you see the trailer, the concept of it is a guy gets sucked into his television back into the 50s, into one of his favorite sitcom television shows. But the movie is so much more than just that.
Yeah.
And you'll find that out when you eventually see it.
How did you get started in this crazy business?
Well, I started as a kid. I started doing ventriloquism when I was about 13.
Do you still do that?
No.
Right.
But I did it for a long time. And then in the Army during World War II, they put me in a special service show. And then I started working as a comic.
That's when you started doing stand-up?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where was the bridge to acting?
Actually, though, I wasn't doing stand-up so much then. I was working with another guy, Mickey Shaughnessy's who I wound up working with, and I was the second banana. And
then you got into acting. You met Andy. Is that?
Well, when I went to New York after the war, the first real steady job I got was in radio.
I didn't know that.
Because radio theater was still around, and I got a regular Western part in Bobby Benson and the B-Bar B. My name was Wendy Wales, and I talked like this, an old timer, Yeah. Did that for 5 years.
Wow.
And
then you were on Broadway with Andy in No Time for Sergeant.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah. And then from that, you made the movie.
Yeah.
You were in the movie. And then Andy Griffith Show came shortly after that, did it not?
No, there were 4 years in between where I did the Steve Allen Show.
Wow.
The Man on the Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nervous guy, yeah.
The nervous guy.
Which seemed to come naturally.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
That was live television, was it not?
Yes, it was.
We'll take a break, and if we could come back and talk about the energy that is all about a live television show, especially in those days. It must have been scary and amazingly exciting.
We will accept your questions, 1-800-955-5567. If you have any questions for Don Knotts, Barney Fife is on the Mark and Brian radio program. We'll be back right after this. 95.5 KLOS.
Welcome back into the Mark O'Brien radio program. Let's get back to some more Don Knotts.
Don, correct us on this if the stats aren't exactly right, but after you left the Andy Griffith program, you came back as a guest on, I think it might have been 5 occasions.
I don't remember exactly. To be honest, I thought it was only 2 or 3.
All right. On each of those occasions, when you came back as a guest, you won an Emmy on every one of those appearances.
No, I'd won 4.
God.
While I was on the regular, when I was there regularly. Then I won 1 when I came back.
You have 5 Emmys for your work in one role. Now that you have to be proud of that.
Oh, very much so.
We should tell you that since your last visit, we started syndicating this program, and one of the cities we syndicate the show to is Palm Springs. A few years back, we went for an appearance somewhere they had some celebrities there, and who came up and said hi to us and said, "We know you're big fans of the show," was one of the fun girls from Mount Pilot. The one that called you Bernie. Hello, doll.
Yeah.
And she was there. She still sounds like that, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of scary.
Now, there's a book out, and a lot of you can read up on Don's career, but the book is called Barney Fife and Other Characters I Have Known. Do you have, and I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, a favorite episode or episodes of the show?
Yeah, I have a couple. I loved Aunt Bee's Pickles.
Yeah.
I thought that was a sweet and funny, very funny show. I like it when you can combine the two.
Yeah.
And the other was Barney and the Choir. That was fun for me.
You just give the name of it, and it makes people laugh. That's how well they know the episode.
Well, we had heard, in fact, we talked with Andy on the phone. We've not yet had Andy in the room, but we talked about the process would begin with the actual writing of the script, and Andy would be given the script and would painstakingly pore over that script to make sure that the words were exactly the way they needed to be before you guys would start shooting it.
Yeah.
And the writers on that program, especially in the first 5 or 6 years, just the best scripts ever.
Oh, they were wonderful writers.
And nothing about it dated. So how did you guys begin? This being a show that was shot on one camera, not in front of an audience, ever. What was a work week like for you guys on the show?
Well, we'll start with when we first started on one show. It would be Thursday morning we'd come in and we would read this script down. We'd read 2 down, one for the following week and another one for the week after that. Then they would, Sheldon Leonard, our exec producer, would ask the actors for input about the script. And then in the afternoon, Andy and Bob Sweeney, the director, Aaron Rubin, the producer, would sit down and do any rewriting or whatever, put the final touches on it. And later, Andy brought me into those rewrite sessions, so I got to work on that too.
And did you enjoy that part of the process?
Very much, yeah. And then on Friday, we would rehearse all day in the studio, and then we'd start shooting Monday morning around 7:30. And we'd do a 12-hour day, and another one on Tuesday, and another one on Wednesday.
And you're finished.
And then we finished that.
So that's
script.
really 3 shoot days to get the whole episode in.
Right.
By this, it seems like in today's standards, you couldn't get that done.
Well, I don't know. They don't shoot half-hour comedies that way anymore.
Yeah.
They're all multi-camera in front of an audience. And you don't work as long hours with that.
Don, you have to be so proud of your body of work. We talked about, of course, the Andy Griffith Show, but then you went on and you made The Shakiest Gun in the West. You made The Reluctant Astronaut.
Ghost and Mr. Chicken.
Ghost and Mr. Chicken. And all these are really, really funny movies. And then all the way up, as Mark said, to Pleasantville. I mean, you're still doing such a wonderful job. Anything coming up for you?
I don't have anything on the book right now.
Something a lot of people don't know. I think The Ghost and Mr. Chicken was your first movie from after you left the television show.
That's right.
And it was written by 2 of the, what is looked on as two of the most successful writers from the Andy Griffith Show. Jim Fritzl and Everett Greenbaum. Is that right?
Jim Fritzl, yeah. Everett Greenbaum. Well, when I got my offer from Universal, Lou Wasserman brought me over, and he said, you know, if you come over here, he said, we'll let you have your own writers and give you pretty much carte blanche.
Wow.
And so I asked Jim and Ev if they'd like to take a crack at it, and they said sure.
Which, why wouldn't they?
And so that's how that happened.
And of course, you demanded that you get to wear the old salt and pepper in that show.
Did you keep that, by the way? Do you still have that suit?
I have a copy of it. I don't know if it's the original.
And also, what a lot of people may not know, if you ever get a chance to watch The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, the Haunted Mansion in that movie is the Munsters house that was used in the, I guess at that time it was the 60s.
Yeah.
So the house was sitting there.
That's right.
On the Universal backlot, and that's the one that you used.
Yeah.
And didn't those two writers write the pickle story from the Andy Griffith Show?
You know, I'd have to check that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. One of the very greats.
They wrote some of the best.
All right, there's tons of people that want to talk with
Let's go to Jack on line 13. Good morning, Jack.
Hey, how you doing, Don?
Good, excuse me.
Yeah.
Caught you mid-swallow there.
Thought I lost you. Man, I love your stuff, love your work. You're the funniest character on there with guys like Floyd the Barber and Ernest T. Bass. I just thought you were fabulous through it all. I want to know, I have two questions, actually. I want to know, what'd you do with the bullet? Do you still carry it in your pocket?
No, but I'll tell you, I got a lot of bullets. Everywhere I go, people give me a bullet. How do you get rid of a bullet?
I don't know.
Throw it in the fire. No.
It's therapeutic.
I wish I could remember that poem that Andy wrote, or that song, Andy Taylor's character. Something to, like, "Oh, my darling," and he was about you. He was he carried a bullet in his pocket.
Yeah.
Do you remember how that goes?
No, but boy, that is right there.
It was so funny.
Well, let's go to Tom up on line 1. Tom, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you, sir?
All right. You're on the air, Tom.
Yes, I can hear. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Knotts, I just want to thank you so much for the depth you gave your character. It was funny, of course, but there were so many touching moments when Barney's feelings would get hurt. Boy, we were just all bleeding with you, and I just want to thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
And I have a sort of a request, and I know there are a lot of people out there. Craig Shoemaker does a really great imitation of you. I wonder what your opinion is of those imitations. But I wonder if you might be good enough to give us just one lethal weapon quote. Can we hear the real Barney? To these hands are a lethal weapon.
You know, I don't know if I can do that out of context.
Yeah.
These hands are a lethal weapon. I blew it. They would have had to shoot that over.
My favorite one of yours is here at the Rock speech, when you're telling them how they're going to, act in jail and to make sure they make no mistakes. Your memories on Three's Company. John Ritter still is a fabulous entertainer.
Oh, he's great.
Just what an incredible physical comedian he was. And you were quite physical in your comedy as well. Not the pratfalls so much, but just the body movement. So were those good days?
Yeah, those were fun. Again, that was so much different because that show was shot in front of an audience. And so we would go through the whole thing. So it's a different kind of show for what we were doing. And on that kind of a show, you have to try to go for the big jokes.
Yeah.
Try to get the big laugh from the audience, which we didn't do in the Andy Griffith
Did
show.
you like it in front of a live audience?
That's
you
fun.
enjoy it?
Yeah. I prefer the other way. I like working in a one camera situation better. But each has its quality that you.
Well, Andy had
enjoy.
said about the show was that on the Andy Griffith Show, he says, we didn't tell jokes.
That's right.
We got our comedy out of the situations, like, for example, and this is a prime example, of when Barney was reciting the Constitution of the United States. And, of course, he had it. And Andy was just there to make sure he was getting it right. And that it seemed like 3 minutes. Probably was 3 minutes of television time, which was forever. But it was a long, sustained, hard laugh. And it is still to this day to watch Barney go through that. Those kind of things. Of course, the words and the situation can be written. But working it out as to exactly how it would be done, the hair. Your hair was funny. How did you guys work those things out?
Well, we just pretty much sit down the day before we were going to, on Friday, before we shoot the show, we'd work it out in rehearsal.
And just throw things out. If it got a giggle, we'll keep that in. If it doesn't work, we'll throw it out.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get a giggle because, remember, we didn't have an audience. So we had to trust our own instincts on that. Although sometimes, if we did something really funny, the crew would break down. That was always fun.
When the show was originally aired, did you watch it every week? Did you like watching it?
Yes, yes, I did. And that was, I'd been on the Steve Allen Show right before that, and except for the last season, the Steve Allen Show was live, so we never got to see it. And I'm not sure I would have wanted to because I was never terribly satisfied with what I did. But, with the Andy Griffith Show, we were so thorough that it was fun to watch because we just worked very hard to make them all good. It was,
I could just think of how different that would be going from a live network television show to a place where you can actually kind of hone in on what you want done. Live, the Steve Allen Show. As I said before we took the break, it must have been scary and exciting at the same time.
That's exactly right. It was scary as can be, but it was fun. Was exciting because we used new material every week, and we were out there hoping it was going to make the audience laugh, and fortunately, usually they did. But
you made Steve laugh, even if you didn't use a punchline. I can just remember him doubling over at his desk, just thinking it's just so funny.
Louis and I used to break him up the most.
Yeah.
I had one experience where I wrote a monologue, and the guy said, "Did you want?" He said, "Give me the monologue and put it on the prompter." We used prompters on that show. I said, I wrote this. I don't need a prompter.
Uh-oh.
Now I get on the air, and I'm in the middle of it, and I went up. I looked at the prompter. It was dark. I turned and looked at everybody. Nobody could help me.
What'd you do?
I considered walking off the stage, but I thought better of it.
Good.
And it finally came to me, so I went on.
Don Knotts is with us on the program. He has a new book called Barney Fife and Other Characters I Have Known. Forward is by Andy Griffith. So if you want to pick up a copy, you can. A lot of other questions on the phone, Don, so if we could keep you for one more break, we'd appreciate it. Let us do a few commercials and return. It's the Mark and Brian radio program. 95.5 KLOS.
95.5 KLOS.
Welcome back into the Mark and Brian radio program as we continue. It's Memorial Day, and we are in memory of our visit with Don Knotts. Tons of people on the phone want to talk to you. Let's just try to get some of these in if we can. Let's go to Tyler on line 13. Good morning, Tyler. You're on the air with Don Knotts.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Don Knotts just had a quick question for you, buddy.
Okay.
Hey, I just wondering how the camaraderie was between you and the other characters off the set, because it all looked like you guys were one big family when you were doing your thing in front of the camera. I just wondered what it was like afterwards.
It really was. There was a lot of camaraderie. Because Andy and I were very close even when we started. And Andy was the star of the show will always set the tone, and he set a great tone. He had a ball doing the show. All day long he laughed. He just laughed, and we all did. It was just a fun experience.
So he kept the set relaxed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's a nice place to work.
We did a lot of singing off camera.
What kind of singing?
Oh, we'd sing hymns, whatever. Our makeup man, Lee Greenway, played the 5-string banjo, and Andy and I used to sing along with him.
I'm sorry, was it Frances Bouvier?
Frances Bavier.
Bavier, okay. She played Aunt Bee. She came from the stage, almost kind of a classical kind of an acting career. And I've read, there's tons of books written about the Andy Griffith Show, but I read that she was not really happy there for a while, or she felt like maybe she was.
See, I've heard that a lot. It's kind of funny because I never noticed that when we were doing the show. I never saw any sign of that. Once in a while, Andy said that she'd get a little upset about something and pout a little bit in her room, but not anything serious. I mean, when you've been around other actors for a while, that was pretty mild.
Really?
Yeah, but I hear about things like that after the show's over that I didn't really notice.
One of the reasons that the Andy Griffith Show survives so well today, as we mentioned earlier, that you didn't tell jokes. There weren't punchlines, really. A lot of it came from the development of each character.
Andy used to say, if it sounds like a joke, throw it out.
Yeah. The development of the characters were so very strong, too. Not only Barney Fife, but Gomer and Goober. And all of those great characters, you knew what kind of people they were and where they would come from. The stuff at the beginning, I think it was Gomer's first episode when he would stop by and tell Andy he's still working on the car, I'll get it done to you as soon as I could. And then he'd leave, and then he'd come back. And this would take 15 seconds of airtime, come back and go, Goober says, hey. Hey to Goober. And then go. All of that good stuff, where did that come from?
Well, I think... of course, it came from the writers, but I think we started something. Andy and I started in the beginning. We began to do things like just sitting and talking about something that had nothing to do with the plot of the story that week. We'd be in the patrol car or on the front porch, and we'd just shoot the breeze. In fact, in the beginning, they didn't want us to do that. They objected to it, but we went ahead and did it.
Well, the great Sunday conversation about what you were going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Going to go up Thelma Lou's.
Yeah.
Well, go to the filling station, get a bottle of pop.
Yeah.
Then go over to Thelma Lou's, watch a little TV.
Yeah. I have that, how that came about in the book.
Yeah.
But we did that, and finally we started getting mail on that, saying how much everybody enjoyed that. And so then they started writing it in.
It just wasn't anything anybody had ever done before or seen that, because you would have dead air on television, and that just hadn't been done before.
Yeah,
until you finally realized.
Not on purpose. Bill, you're on the air with Don Knotts.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, how are you, Mr. Knox?
Very well, thanks.
Hey, I was wondering, did you have acting pursuits that you had to engage in? Is that why you left, or was there a mutual agreement? Because after you left, it seemed like Mayberry RFD just wasn't the same.
Well, the reason I left was Andy had always said he'd never go past 5 seasons. So in the middle of the 5th season, I started looking around for something else, and Lou Wasserman offered me a picture contract, so I sort of pretty much thought I better take that. And then Andy changed his mind.
Well, now, did Andy ever come to you and say, boy, I sure could use you here?
No, he never did. He said they want to give you a better offer if you want to stay. And I said, gee, by then I had already pointed in the direction of the picture contract, so I went ahead with it. But that's the reason.
Well, also, and to show the strength of the writing, granted, any fan of the Andy Griffith program will say the first 5 years were the best. The black and white episodes were the best.
Well, I think black and white had a lot to do with that, too.
Yeah.
Somehow that worked better. I don't know why.
Well, it did, but also the episodes that were after that, there are still some very good episodes on the Andy Griffith program that still hold up. Some of the later ones are a little difficult, but the show was just a stellar, well-done program.
The Incredible Mr. Limpet. Mm-hmm. Was that your project, or were you called in to do that project?
No, that was a guy named John C. Rose who did it with Warner Brothers. And he just, as a matter of fact, I was doing the Andy Griffith Show when I did that. I did that during a summer hiatus.
Because it had to be written for you. I always thought that.
No, it wasn't. No. I was hired to play it. And
Now, you know they're redoing it.
No, they're not, apparently not now.
No?
They were going to. I was talking to Jim Carrey recently. He was going to do it, and he said it fell through. I don't know why.
He didn't say.
He didn't say why.
Did you like working on the films versus the feel of the Andy Griffith program, or did you find it to be very much exactly the same?
Well, it was a little more tense on the films because we didn't have that same family around us, and doing it every day, every week after week. But it was still fun. And I brought people over from brought the writers. I also brought Alan Rafkin over, who directed a lot of the Andy Griffith shows. I brought him over to direct a couple of the movies.
Kind of scary too, I would think, for you as an actor when you step out of as you said, the family of the Andy Griffith program, and you put yourself up there as the star of the film to see if people are going to pay money now to come and see you. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, was that a financial success?
Yes, it was. But you're right. I was scared to death when I started, and when we finally finished The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, I didn't know if anybody would care to see it. Just you had to wait and see. But putting it together, I must say, was very exciting.
How long did you have to wait and see if a movie was a success back then? Because now you pick up USA Today the very next day, and they're going to give you what it made, and how many people went to see it.
Well, you didn't have that kind of information, but you could tell pretty much the first week how it was received.
If the theaters were full or not.
And you'd get feedback right away from the audiences. I knew that The Ghost of Mr. Chicken was going to be a hit after the first day.
You did?
Yeah. And you could tell sitting in the theater from the laughs. Matter of fact, I have this in the book, but when we opened the picture in New Orleans at the Joy Theater. And I was sitting there, and they started laughing so hard I couldn't hear all of our dialogue. So I thought, well, they haven't got the sound turned up enough. So I ran up to the projection booth. And the projection guy was startled when I walked in. I said, listen, turn the gain up. I said, I don't think they can hear it.
They're laughing so hard. That's a great sign.
He didn't like it, but he did turn it up.
What about the return movies, return to the Mayberry reunion movies? Were those fun to see everybody?
Oh, yeah. We actually only did one return movie.
And it was good? You enjoyed doing it?
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Written by the same old guys that...
It was written by Everett Greenbaum and Harvey Bullock.
Both of those guys, did they work a great deal together? Or because I know Harvey Bullock wrote a lot, and Everett wrote with Jim.
Jim Fritzell had died.
Yeah.
And I think Jim Bullock wrote with a fellow named Allen, trying to think, Ray Allen, I forget his name, Ray Allen.
Whatever happened to the kid that played Opie?
Whatever
happened to him?
We call him Mr. Howard now.
Yes, I
see. If we could, we do need to take a break, but it'd be fun to talk about Ron, too, because he has gone on to be one of Hollywood's most successful directors and writers, and what it was like to work with him as a kid. So could you hang for one more little bit?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Stick around. Don Knotts is on the Mark and Brian radio program. 95.5 KLOS.
95.5 KLOS.
Don Knotts is here for one more break, and we were just talking during the commercial there. You are a member of the Academy.
Right.
The Motion Picture Academy. So do you take pride in that? A lot of members, and there's many, but a lot of members will just kind of quickly see the movie and just to get their vote in, but some of them take it quite seriously.
Yeah. Oh, I love movies. I've always loved movies, ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, who would you say working today is one of our best actors and actresses? That you enjoy, maybe.
Well, I enjoy so many of them. I don't know. I love Tom Hanks. I think he's fantastic.
Tom Hanks seems like he's cut from the mold of the family that came from Mayberry. Almost, you know, he's very very
right.
wholesome, and he's a good guy. He seems to be. Very
He could have grown up in Mayberry and done very
Right.
well. Speaking of growing up in Mayberry, we mentioned Ron Howard. Ron, and not knowing a great deal about him as a kid, but it seemed apparent that his mom and dad were very involved in his life and made sure that he was a kid, along with being a really good actor.
Well, you said it exactly right. That's the way it was. They were wonderful parents. They brought him to the studio every day, and they, you know, when he started, he was only 5 years old.
Yeah.
He couldn't read yet, so they had to teach him his lines.
Wow.
But his dad, especially, he and his dad had a wonderful relationship. And Ron was just so well behaved on the set, it was unbelievable.
Plus, he had an ability, a true ability as a kid to hit those touching moments, hit the comedic moments.
Great. He was just great.
And also, I read in somewhere that a lot of the cast members, Andy especially, would, in between takes, they'd throw the football with him or kind of hang out, throw the baseball around a little bit, and let him be a kid.
Well, they wanted to keep on his good side on account he was going to become this huge thing.
He sure has done well. That's true.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Don, Mr. Knotts. It seems funny to call you Don, Mr. Knotts.
No, Don's good.
Always a pleasure to be in your company, and it was a great surprise as you were our mystery guest today. God, it's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, the very, very cool thing about what you've done for us because of your choice of career is that it's preserved on film. The Andy Griffith television program, all of your movies, Three's Company. We get a chance to go back and see it all. Thanks to TBS, we see it 3 times a day, which is really, really great. Is there any residual for you on those shows when they rerun? Do you get a paycheck for any of that?
Not the Andy Griffith show, no, because that wasn't in effect at that time.
Wow.
The there is a minimum requirement now they have to pay on reruns, but we didn't have it then.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Because the show is so good. And for those of you that have never seen one, you're in for a real treat. You got about 256 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show to catch up on.
I've always dreamed of, turning on the TV and it's TBS or whatever, and it's an Andy, first 5 years, black and white Andy. And I'm looking like, I don't remember this one. It's one that slipped by me. Hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But I sure like it to someday. The book is called Barney Fife and Other Characters I Have Known with Robert Metz. He wrote it with you, and forward by Andy Griffith. Don Knotts.
Don, please come back again anytime you'd wish. If you have anything you want to say or just sit around, we'd love to have you come in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We'll do our last bit of business and get back to it. It's the Mark and Brian radio program, 95.5 KLOS.